If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. The desert sun beats down on the ancient city of Yazd. It's a place of baked earth and timeless secrets, but something rises from the mud brick skyline. Tall, silent sentinels that pierce the sky. They call them badgers, windcatchers. The official story says they are a primitive form of air conditioning, a marvel of ancient engineering designed to funnel cool breezes into the sweltering homes below. But spend a night here, when the winds howl through their hollow shafts, and you'll hear something else entirely. The locals whisper tales. They say these towers don't just catch the wind, they catch something more, something unseen. I came to Yazd to investigate these claims, to walk among these silent structures and feel their energy. The city itself feels heavy with history, a place where the veil between worlds is thin. As dusk descends, the windcatchers transform. They are no longer just architectural wonders. They become imposing, almost menacing figures looming over the city. The wind that passes through them seems to carry whispers, not just the sound of air moving through clay, but something more articulate. A low murmur, a chorus of forgotten voices. The townspeople avoid them after dark, their faces etched with a deep ancestral fear that no modern explanation can erase. The legends are as old as the towers themselves. They speak of jinns trapped within the shafts, of spirits of the dead drawn to the cool, dark passages. It is said that the towers were not built for the living, but for the dead. A way to give comfort to restless souls wandering the scorched earth. Some even claim the towers are gateways, portals to another realm, and the sounds are the echoes of those who have crossed over. I've investigated countless locations haunted by tragedy, but this is different. This isn't about a single entity. It's about a city-wide system designed for a purpose we may never understand. A purpose that feels deeply connected to the paranormal. As I stand beneath one of these magnificent structures, I can feel it. A cold spot in the blistering heat, a sudden drop in temperature that has nothing to do with airflow. It's a presence, an intelligent energy that seems to watch from the shadows of the tower's vents. The air is thick with static, a raw energy that makes the hair on my arms stand on end. The people here believe the towers have a consciousness, that they are alive. They believe the whispers are not just random sounds, but messages from a world beyond our own. And after just one night in their shadow, I'm starting to believe it too. Look at these structures, they are ancient. Some have stood for centuries, defying erosion, earthquakes, and the unforgiving desert climate. The official explanation is ingenious. They are designed with multiple directional shafts, sometimes 4, sometimes 8, positioned to catch the wind from any direction. The hot air from within the building rises and escapes through one side of the tower, creating a pressure differential that draws cooler ambient air down the other shafts. This creates a constant, natural airflow, cooling the rooms below by as much as 10 degrees. It's a brilliant example of passive cooling technology far ahead of its time. But it's the details that don't add up. The precision is staggering. The angles of the internal blades, the exact height and width of the shafts, they are all mathematically perfect. Too perfect for the tools and knowledge supposedly available at the time. How did ancient builders with no advanced computational models achieve such aerodynamic efficiency? Some of the designs are so complex, with intricate internal lattices and curved fins, that modern engineers struggle to replicate their performance. It's as if the builders had access to a level of understanding that we have since lost, a knowledge that seems almost otherworldly in its sophistication and precision. Then there are the materials. The towers are constructed from sun-dried mud bricks, clay, and a special desert mortar. But analysis of these materials has revealed strange trace elements that don't belong. Some researchers have noted unusual magnetic properties in the clay, suggesting it was sourced from a specific unknown location. Why this specific material? Could it be that the towers were designed not just to channel air, but to channel and amplify a different kind of energy? An energy that required a specific type of conductive medium to function properly. The mainstream explanations conveniently ignore these anomalies. The most unnerving feature is the acoustic design. The internal shafts are not just simple channels, they are shaped in a way that creates a specific resonance. Sound engineers who have studied them are baffled. The towers seem designed to amplify certain low-frequency sounds while dampening others. This creates the eerie whispering effect that locals describe. Was this an accidental byproduct of the cooling design, or was it the primary purpose? Were these structures built not as air conditioners, but as massive acoustic instruments designed to listen to something, or perhaps to broadcast a signal that we can no longer perceive? Mainstream science will tell you the sounds are just wind, simple aerodynamics. But the people who live in the shadow of these towers know better. They have heard the voices. They have felt the fear. The supernatural theories are not whispered in secret. They are a fundamental part of the city's identity. The most prevalent belief is that the Badgers are soul collectors. They say that when a person dies, their last breath, their soul, is carried on the wind. The towers, with their ever-open mouths, are designed to catch these wandering spirits, providing them a final resting place before they move on. A beautiful yet chilling thought. But there's a darker interpretation, a more forbidden theory. This one suggests the towers do not offer rest, but imprisonment. That they are traps for the souls of the damned, or for jinns, the powerful, often malevolent spirits of Islamic mythology. According to this legend, the towers were built by ancient sorcerers to capture and harness the energy of these entities. The constant mournful whispers are not echoes of peace but cries of eternal confinement. This would explain the palpable sense of dread that surrounds certain towers, the ones locals refuse to go near, even in broad daylight. They believe these specific towers hold something truly ancient and evil. I've had my own experiences here. During one investigation, we set up our full-spectrum cameras and digital recorders inside the base of a particularly active badger. The air was dead calm, not a breath of wind. Yet our recorders picked up distinct sounds, not just whispers but clear, disembodied voices speaking in an ancient dialect of Farsi that hasn't been used for centuries. We captured an EVP, an electronic voice phenomenon, that, when translated, said, "We are trapped in the sky," a direct, intelligent response to our questions. This wasn't the wind, this was something else. The local testimonies are even more unnerving. An old man, his face a roadmap of desert wrinkles, told me a story passed down through his family for generations. His great-grandfather, a builder who helped repair one of the oldest towers, swore he heard his own name called from the top of the shaft on a windless day. He looked up and saw a shadowy figure coalesce in the opening before vanishing. He never worked on the towers again. Another woman claimed she saw lights, like faint pulsing orbs, moving up and down the shafts at night. These aren't isolated stories. They are a shared, collective experience of a city living alongside the supernatural. To understand the true purpose of the Windcatchers, we have to look beyond modern science and into the past, into the ancient texts and forbidden scrolls that speak of their creation. Fragments of Zoroastrian and pre-Islamic texts describe the construction of towers of silence, not just for the dead, but for the breath of Ahriman, the embodiment of evil and darkness. These texts speak of structures designed to capture and neutralize malevolent spiritual energy, pulling it from the air itself. The descriptions bear an uncanny resemblance to the Badgers, suggesting their function was not cooling, but spiritual clarification on a massive scale. One particular legend, often dismissed as folklore, is that of Jamshid, a mythical king of Persia. The story goes that he commanded jinns to build the first Windcatchers, not for his comfort, but to listen to the secrets of the gods, which were carried on the four winds. The towers were a cosmic listening device, an antenna to the divine, but the jinns, being mischievous, built a flaw into the design. The towers also captured the voices of the dead, creating a cacophony of spiritual interference that drove the king to madness. The legend warns that those who listen too closely to the towers will suffer the same fate. I managed to get access to a translated portion of a forbidden text, known locally as the Book of Whispers. It's not recognized by any official institution. It describes the Badgers as soul anchors. According to this text, the towers are linked to the city's conduits, the vast underground water channels. The text claims this system creates a circuit, with the towers drawing spiritual energy from the sky and grounding it in the flowing water below. It speaks of a ritual that must be performed during specific celestial alignments to cleanse the anchors, lest they become overwhelmed and bleed sorrow into the city. This sounds less like architecture and more like a massive occult machine. We found eyewitness accounts that seem to support this. In the city archives, we uncovered a report from a 19th century British traveler. He described a strange midnight ceremony he witnessed near the Dowlatabad Garden, home to the tallest windcatcher in Iran. He wrote of robed figures chanting at the base of the tower while a strange, low hum emanated from its structure, a sound that made his teeth ache. He claimed the very air crackled with energy. His account was dismissed as an opium-induced hallucination. But what if he saw the cleansing ritual described in the Book of Whispers, a ritual to maintain a machine we no longer understand? The evidence goes beyond just stories in ancient texts. There are physical artifacts and unexplained data. Strange symbols are carved into the hidden internal surfaces of some of the oldest towers. They are not decorative. They resemble a mix of astrological charts and unknown geometric patterns. Experts in ancient iconography have been unable to identify their meaning or origin. They are not part of any known Persian or Islamic tradition. It's as if they are a schematic, a user manual for a technology we can't comprehend. Some local superstitions hold that these symbols are wards, designed to keep what is inside the towers from getting out. The acoustic recordings are the most compelling proof. In the 1970s, a team of European sound engineers conducted an experiment. They placed highly sensitive microphones inside several badgers, hoping to study the natural acoustics. Their findings were never officially published. Rumor has it the project was abruptly shut down. Leaked notes from one of the engineers described the recordings as deeply disturbing. He wrote of capturing what sounded like structured, rhythmic chanting and weeping on nights with absolutely no wind. He described the sounds as having a non-physical quality, an echo without a source. The local superstitions are deeply ingrained in daily life. People will not build new homes in the direct shadow of certain old towers, believing the structure projects an aura of melancholy or misfortune. They leave offerings of salt and water at the base of the towers, an ancient practice to appease the spirits within. It is considered extremely bad luck to point at the opening of a badger after sunset. These are not quaint traditions. They are rules for survival, learned over centuries of living with something inexplicable. They are a paranormal safety manual passed down through generations. During our investigation, our Mel meter, which measures electromagnetic fields, went haywire. At the base of one tower, the readings spiked to levels I've only seen in the most aggressive hauntings. At the same time, our thermal camera captured a fleeting man-shaped cold spot, approximately 15 degrees colder than the surrounding air. It appeared for a moment in a sealed, empty room directly beneath the main shaft, then vanished. We were documenting real, measurable phenomena that defy all logical explanation. These towers are not just passive structures, they are active. They are interacting with their environment in ways we can't explain. When you start digging into the modern history of the badgers, you hit a wall of silence and secrecy. In recent decades, the Iranian government has designated the city of Yazd and its windcatchers a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the surface, this is about preservation and tourism. But talk to local researchers and journalists off the record and a different picture emerges. They speak of restricted access to certain towers, of research permits being mysteriously denied, and of scientific data being classified for reasons of national security. What kind of national security threat could a centuries-old cooling system possibly pose? There have been strange incidents. In 2003, a team of international architects was using laser scanning technology to create a three-dimensional model of the Dowlatabad Windcatcher. The project was suddenly and inexplicably halted by government officials. The official reason given was structural instability concerns. But members of the team later spoke of their equipment malfunctioning in bizarre ways, only when pointed at the tower's central shaft. They reported massive data corruption and phantom readings that their instruments couldn't explain. Their equipment worked perfectly everywhere else. They were escorted from the site and their data was confiscated. Then there is the story of Dr. Arash Rahimi, a brilliant physicist from Tehran University who, in the late 1990s, proposed a radical theory. He believed the towers were designed to interact with telluric currents, natural electric currents flowing underground. He suggested they were part of a massive energy grid, and he wanted to place sensors on them to test his hypothesis. He was publicly ridiculed by the scientific establishment. His funding was cut. A few years later, he vanished. His colleagues were told he had emigrated, but no record of him leaving the country has ever been found. His research has been scrubbed from university archives. This pattern of suppression is chilling. It suggests that someone in a position of power knows more about the towers than they are letting on. Are they trying to protect the public from a terrifying truth? Or are they trying to reserve the tower's true function for their own purposes? The increased military presence around some of the more remote ancient tower sites only deepens the mystery. They are not just guarding cultural relics, they are guarding a secret that is hidden in plain sight, rising from the desert floor, whispering on the wind for all to hear, if only they dare to listen. We are left with more questions than answers. We stand in the ancient city of Yazd, surrounded by these silent, enigmatic structures. Science tells us they are marvels of passive cooling, a testament to human ingenuity. But the evidence we have uncovered points to something far stranger, far more profound. The impossible precision of their design, the strange materials, the acoustic properties that seem engineered to capture voices, the ancient texts that speak of soul anchors and spiritual gateways, the modern-day eyewitness accounts, the unexplained recordings, and the wall of government secrecy. When you put all the pieces together, a disturbing possibility emerges. What if the cooling effect is just a byproduct, a secondary function masking a much deeper, more terrifying purpose? What if these towers were never meant for the living? What if they are machines, built by a lost civilization with a forgotten understanding of physics and metaphysics? Machines designed to interact with the very fabric of life and death, to channel souls, to capture spiritual energy, to listen to the echoes of another world? A city-wide paranormal device that has been operating silently for centuries. The implications are staggering. If these towers are indeed capturing souls or spiritual energy, where is that energy going? Is it being stored? Is it being harnessed? And by whom? The ancient legends warn of madness, of jinns and imprisoned spirits. The government's actions suggest a secret that must be protected at all costs. We may be looking at a technology that could rewrite our understanding of consciousness, the soul, and the afterlife. A power that, in the wrong hands, could be terrifyingly dangerous. So the next time you feel a cool breeze on a hot day, stop and think. Think of the towers of Yazd, standing silent vigil in the desert. Think of what they might be catching besides the wind. The final chilling question remains, are the Windcatchers of Iran simply cooling the homes of the living, or are